So let's look through some of the fundamentals. Let's do a little price analysis here and go through why I think Moonbeam could be a good play, and then show you some staking options to get involved. So we don't need to buy into all-time highs. We can accumulate through staking. So Moonbeam is essentially an L1 built underneath Polkadot. It won the second parachain auction on DOT, which was obviously great for early investors of Moonbeam. But what it's actually doing is it's giving DOT L1 power. So it is going to be that kind of Ether V2 style L1 that is underpinning the DOT ecosystem. And obviously being built under Polkadot has its advantages over something like a Moonriver, which is on Kusama, because this is kind of the main game, right? This is the ecosystem that I think a lot of developers are going to start developing on. Moonbeam has great technology and it's EVM compatible. So it's very, very easy to deploy dApps, similar to something like an AVAX and a Fantom. Moonbeam is on MetaMask. You can deploy dApps quite easily if you're a developer. So I think it is a good protocol. And I want to look through some statistics because we saw this massive spike. The transactions went from 35,000 to 130,000 in a day. Now, obviously, spikes can be caused for multiple reasons. There can be new protocols that are launched. The market can be pumping, and that can hype the transactions temporarily. But I do think that the fundamentals here are very strong. And I think this uptick could be here to stay. I mean, we don't want to see it crash right back down to 35K. But if Moonbeam can consistently grow its transactions and get more days like this of 130,000 transactions, then that's very, very bullish for the ecosystem. So I do think Moonbeam is showing a bit of an increase in interest now. And we can see this through the address chart as well. If we go back like a month ago, the active daily increase was like 400 to 600 a day. These past few days, we've seen 3,600, 1,000 as well. We've seen basically consistently over 1,000 for the last couple of weeks. So we're seeing an increase in addresses, which is good as well. So I always like to look at the on-chain metrics. I wouldn't say they're exploding. It doesn't look like that massive crazy Fantom chart we saw a month ago with the transaction spiking, but it does look like consistent growth to me. And I'm always looking for protocols that are exhibiting consistent growth in DeFi. And I think Moonbeam can be one of those L1s. Obviously, it's pumped, so I don't recommend buying into these hypes pump once again, but I'm going to show you a strategy to take advantage of the ecosystem as well. The ecosystem though, wow. We have seen massive growth across Moonbeam. We've seen multiple protocols, the DEXs, the bridges are up like 20, 30% for the week. StellaSwap, which is the main DEX on Moonbeam, is up 16% for the week, which is a pretty big growth for a DEX. So let's go through StellaSwap, because that is the best place to farm on Moonbeam right now. And let's go through some of the strategies that I'm liking at the moment on Moonbeam to take advantage of this ecosystem. I do think long-term, Moonbeam or GLMR is a very solid protocol. And I think it has lots of room to grow. With a market cap of $1 billion, I think it's still relatively undervalued compared to other L1s. And I think it's got room to grow. So why not get involved in some farms? Maybe even just with a little bit of capital while the price is high, get some exposure to some of these farms and just learn how the Moonbeam ecosystem works. So when we really explode, you're all over it. And you've already been farming in StellaSwap. You already know how it works. So let's go through the farms now. I'll show you my favorite farms and I'll run you through step by step how to get involved and how to stake on StellaSwap. So let's just go through the farm list right now. There's multiple farms which are paying very high APRs. So they're incentivizing with the Stella token, which is the native token of the DEX, and they're also paying out Moonbeam. So for most of these pools, you'll either be rewarded in Stella or Moonbeam. And this is quite good because there's multiple options we can then do with those rewards within the Moonbeam ecosystem. So let's look through these farms. We have Atom GLMR. I think this is one of my favorite ones. So just to state right now, if you're going to get into a pool with GLMR, you need to be bullish on Moonbeam. So you're obviously not investing in a Moonbeam pool if you're not a believer in the Moonbeam token itself. So for something like Atom GLMR, the first thing you have to do is work out, one, am I bullish on Moonbeam? If the answer is yes, then the second question is the token that I'm pairing with. One, am I bullish on that token? And two, how much impermanent loss can I be receiving to expect on an LP like this? So something like Atom GLMR, you're going to need both tokens like Atom and Moonbeam to move in tandem with each other. If they balance too far away from each other, so if Atom crashes and GLMR pumps, then obviously that's an issue because they're going to be rebalancing the pool and you're going to lose out to impermanent loss. But the pools that you get in where the tokens move simultaneously, you're getting A, the capital growth from, say, GLMR and Atom going up, and B, you're getting a massive APR, 140%, which in DeFi these days is a lot. I mean, I'm not going to lie, we have seen the DeFi yields drop over the last month, but this isn't dropping. This is massive. And, I haven't seen APRs this high in a popular EVM compatible ecosystem probably since Fantom really took off in November. So Moonbeam is looking to me like this DeFi is mirroring kind of what Fantom did in November. So Atom GLMR 140, that's a pool I like if you're bullish on Atom. But you've got some interesting options here. I think Stella USDC could be an interesting play. Obviously, the Stella token is emitted, so that could be an issue if it's diluted. But that's paying up to 250%. And I think that's an interesting one too. If you're bullish on Moonbeam, probably the best pool to get into would be USDC GLMR because that's paying 118%. And even if GLMR 5x's or even 10x's, if you're in the pool for long enough, say you stay in for a year, and the APR can hold above 50%, then you're still going to be in profit. You can use an impermanent loss calculator to work out in what scenario you'd be profiting and losing money to impermanent loss. But typically, my rule of thumb is that if the APR is over 118%, it's going to take a massive crash or a massive pump to offset the APR. So USDC GLMR is one of those pools I'd be getting into if I was bullish on Moonbeam. But we're seeing 22% on stables as well. So we got DAI USDC, USDC, USDT at 22%. So for those who want to go a little bit safer, you can get into these pools. And these aren't small pools. 7 million, I mean, it's relatively small compared to something like a Stargate, but it's still not massive. So you do still have a little bit of room to milk this APR in the short term before this is diluted, let's say to 10 million plus. So you got a little bit of time here with these pools. So some of these pools are amazing. I do want to show you a Fantom pool as well, because Moonbeam, being EVM compatible, has great bridges. So you can actually, if you're a Fantom holder, come over and put Fantom into Moonbeam. So you can go Fantom USDC for 70%, Fantom GLMR for 120%, which is a very, very good yield. I mean, Fantom USDC in Liquid Drive is paying like 40, 50% now. So you're actually getting better yields on your Fantom on StellaSwap than you are on Fantom now. So that's cool as well. And obviously, Luna GLMR is great because I'm bullish on the Luna token. I think GLMR has room to run as well. So if you're interested in both these ecosystems and you think they're going to rise the tide together as the crypto market rises, then this could be a good play as well. No, liquidity is fairly low, but it's at 107%. So let me show you how to get involved. So you do need to pick your pool. I can't tell you what pool to get into because that will depend on what you're bullish on, but I can tell you my favorites. I do like Atom GLMR because you're getting dual rewards. You're getting Stella and Moonbeam. I do like these stable pools, very high stablecoin yields. If you want to diversify out of UST, obviously UST is great at 20%, but we do have to hold some stables in others stables as well, just in case of DPEG risk. And I do like this USDC GLMR pool because it's paying 117%. If you're bullish on Moonbeam, this is a very high yield. And then I find these two interesting. Luna GLMR and Fantom GLMR or Fantom USDC is very interesting because you can't get those kind of yields on Luna or Fantom in their native dexes anymore, like SpookySwap, Astroport. It's kind of they're not really around anymore. So StellaSwap is giving you an opportunity to still earn those yields over here.
If you like this clip, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification. You'll be notified every time that we drop content on this channel. This channel is dedicated to people just like you who are time-starved and need a microdose of crypto content.